Hey, T-Sippers. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. How you doing? How you doing? Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. How you doing? How you doing? T-Sippers. Hey, we back. We back. We back. Whoo. What it do? So listen. It's time to jump in our Candace Owens saga. It seemed like everybody, well, not everybody, a lot of people are catch chocolate. Hey, hot chocolate. Trying to jump in on what's going on with Candace, and I was trying to see if she had something to say. I had to reboot my computer, so now stuff got moved around. I don't know where things are. Y'all come on in, hitting the like button for me, please. I would greatly appreciate it. There we go. I would greatly appreciate it. What was this with the truth about? Oh, wow. I need for other people to come in so they can, hey, Willie Spencer, hey, Dorothy, hey. Soon as I got off, I saw a little message about something we was talking about earlier when I showed that medicine, the cholesterol. Oh, I can't wait till old girl come in so I can play it. My. When I say my, I'm so sick of these people playing with our lives and livelihood. It's just getting on my nerves. That's what I'm gonna say. But what did I say yesterday? We gonna start rebuking them in the name of who? Jesus. Jesus. Thank you. Thank you, Willie Spencer. So while people are coming in, let's check this out.
And they applauded this book. And then after 1948, the rabbis were like, hey, so...
Oh, let me go out. Sound like that.
Candace Owens knows the truth. And they applauded this book. And then after 1948, the rabbis were like, hey, so we were deciding whether or not we were going to take over Uganda or Israel, or I think they were also taking a look at Madagascar at one point, too. And then they decided on Israel, and they're like, okay, well, it's kind of a tough sell. We're just going to, take...
Hey, Ricardo, thank you. Oh, look at the little puppy.
And they did that, and they said, okay, now we've got to just...
Thank you.
...that we publish, saying that we actually aren't...
Oh.
And they did that.
Corgi.
Now we've got to get the ADL very active in smearing anybody who questions it. We also have to turn it into an...
Smear anybody who questions it. Thank you. Long live Dolph. Full justice for Dolph. Oh, wow. I didn't watch that interview that he did. I'm just sick of him. But I did watch Skull tonight. Now that was funny. That was funny. Hey, Cynthia. Yeah. Don't nobody owe you nothing. And let me say this. I ought to play it, but did you see it, Ricardo? Hey, Pete, shout out to Sco. Shout out to Sco. Don't nobody owe you nothing, grown man. Don't nobody owe you nothing. And how dare you? And let me say this for the record. I feel like you trying to bait Clover G and especially Little Flip in. You trying to bait him. You wanted him on your show. You wanted to get your numbers up off of him, talk that stupid stuff, and make it seem like Lil Flip was down with what went down with Dolph. Shout out to Lil Flip for not taking the bait. Shout out to Lil Flip for hoping that your ASS would have been sent up the river for life. And he wouldn't have to deal with you no more. That's why he wasn't accepting your phone calls. Because he knew you was guilty and thought you was gone. How about that? I didn't want to waste another live or upload on you. Because your numbers look like your bottom row of teeth. Yeah. Look like shit. Yeah. When I stopped fooling with you and making lives about you, you couldn't get nothing. You thought you was going to get them numbers. You thought it was going to be on and on and on and on. The beat don't stop until the break of dawn. You know, you are nothing without Dolph. You hold no relevance. And I can't wait till they haul your ass in and add them enhancements on you and send you up the river. Anytime I hear the Seniola cartel and I know what you're involved in, yeah, I think you had, you told on that as well. So it's just a matter of time. Yeah, it's just a matter of time. Yeah, and you were trying to bait in Little Flip. And he ain't going. How about that? High five, high five. Shout out to Samantha. Thank you, precious. Yeah, I contemplated on, talking on it or doing a reaction off of Skull. Yeah, don't nobody owe you nothing. Whatever you did, whatever bodies you caught, whatever, you was security. You was just like the boogeyman. Yeah. So whatever you did, you did. Yeah. And if you didn't want to do it, then you shouldn't have done it. But he don't owe you for life. Yeah. You reaped the benefits while you was his bodyguard. Get your ass up out of here. And bringing up old stuff, because that's all you have. You are nothing. Unless you on the back end of somebody else. You can't walk forward on your own. You have to be behind, back there. Yeah, you're a back there kind of guy. Yeah, so let's be clear. Lil Flip don't want to with you. And he don't owe you shit. You paid in full. Now, I can move on. I can move on now. Hey, Queen Lakers, thank you. Thank you. I didn't even, I didn't want to hear him talk. I'm going to be honest. I didn't want to hear him talk and semi trying to brag. Because you got away with, you got away with your part being the middleman in Young Dolph's assassination. But I still believe your day is coming. Your day is coming. Yeah, so shout out to Skull for letting you know nobody owe you nothing. What you did, that's because that was the type of life you was living. That's all you know. That's all you know. You've been like that since junior high and high school. Did you ever graduate? No, probably not. Yeah, cause you was a hoodlum. That's all you know, and that's all you was good for. Yeah, and I don't blame Lil Flip. I'd stop taking you. Hey, say man, they done haul me in. Okay, what you calling him for? Why you gotta always call somebody? I thought your money was long. How you paying somebody's rent? How you doing this and that if your money long? Yeah, I don't believe shit you say. You're a liar. Yeah, what you calling somebody for? Other than to tell them where to go get your stash cause your money's stacked high. Surely you don't need nobody to get you out. Yeah, what you calling them for? Handle your business. Man up. Yeah, doing all that telling. And you won't think somebody wanna take your calls and the paperwork is out. You been a snitch. It's on paper. Yeah, you walking free now because of the people that you done snitched on. And you think somebody need to take your phone calls? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Hell, I wouldn't let you sit on my platform for shit. Yeah, kick rocks, nigga. And your money must be funny. Huh? Your money must be funny. Yeah, I would think that you would be in production somewhere. Big, everybody want me. Everybody want me. Everybody wants my story. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Now everybody know you a snitch. You been a snitch. And you a dual snitch. Yeah. You state and fed. In Texas and in Memphis. Lord in heaven knows where else. Yeah. Yeah. You probably snitched on Craig Petty's. Yeah, you probably had something to do with Bovan. Yeah. Old boy said you had something to do with. Yeah. I had made mention of that. Because how else would you have known he went outside for a cigarette smoke? Cigarette break. Unless you was there. But I'm going to move on. I ain't forgot nothing. I just want you to know I ain't forgot nothing. It's just part. It's just part. Yeah, for when they really haul your ass off. Okay, let me move on to where what I was really on. Shout out to y'all for the love and support. I had to get that off my chest. But again, shout out to Lil Flip for not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. He's a setup queen. AunTeaFee. Huh? You said queen. Yeah. Yeah, he a queen. Cornetta. Yeah. Yeah. Don't forget about the doctor, the dentist, the doctor. Yeah. Yeah. He was doing house calls. He was doing men bathroom calls. Yeah, they got domestic. They got a domestic lawsuit. Oh, y'all thought I forgot? Like I said, she a queen. Yeah. Yeah. Queen. There's a whole bunch of them. Boy, I tell you. Like Sco said, nigga, you wasn't no rapper. You just wanted to get in where you fit in, cause you was a bum. You know you're a bum. Yeah, you a bum. You a bum. And you wanted to seem like you was special. You wanted to seem like you was Yeah. Yeah. You were a hitman. You were used for the princess in Houston. Why you didn't bring their name up? I don't know if you did or didn't, because I didn't listen to it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, bring them up. Run them through. Run them through. Yeah, run them through and see where that leads you. Tell on them and see where they get you. Yeah. Now throw your crooked ass mouth up to that. Okay, let's move on. Thank you, Mrs. Tom. Now I know y'all know I get kinda, I go there when it comes to Dolph and trying to play in folk face on the cool, but your money must be funny. Yeah. You probably done lost and gambled all your money, your little coins away. Yeah, you thought you was bigger than what you was. You thought your story was bigger than Dolph. Silly rabbit. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. For now.
Owens knows the
Now
truth.
listen.
And they applauded this book. And then after 1948, the rabbis were like, hey, so
Ricardo's, that was your fault. I saw you and I saw them dolphins and I went in, didn't I? I saw them dolphins and went in. Shout out to everybody who came in and the support. Yeah, I saw them dolphins and went in. I was already feeling some type of way. Okay, let me stretch my neck out. Thank you, Miss Tom. Thank you. And to you, hey, Miss Tom, let's go. Right on time. So listen, quite a few people are chiming in to Candace Owens. A lot of people don't want to believe her. They only don't want to believe her because they are part of the problem, right? And she's exposed a lot. So we're gonna listen to a couple of people who are in her defense. Even Prince Pierce, he's changed his views somewhat. I'm gonna try to tap into that, and then we're gonna tap off into this. I ain't gonna tell you right off. Let's go.
Candace Owens knows the truth.
and they applauded this book. And then after 1948, the rabbis were like, hey, so we were deciding whether or not we were going to take over Uganda or Israel, or I think they were also taking a look at Madagascar at one point too. And then they decided on Israel, and they're like, okay, well, we're kind of a tough sell. We're just going to take over people's land. So why don't we try to make this like this?
Take over people's land.
And they did that, and they said, okay, now we've got to just get rid of all the books that we publish saying that we actually...
Get rid of the books that we've published that says, are we listening to what I good here? Shout out to Madam Oracle. I heard her. I was on her platform yesterday. Well, not me, not AunTeaFee. It was Laquita. She had been looking for Laquita because Laquita had been in rehab, and she had been missing. So she did a call for Laquita, and I heard her telling people, "Listen with your good ear, listen with your good ear." I ain't say no, but I said, "Oh shit, yeah." I patted myself on the back, I just quietly patted myself on my back and said, "Listen with your good ear." Yeah. Anyway, Willie Spencer. Yeah. Laquita, yeah, she had been missing. And they if I would pop up, they would say, Is this AunTeaFee? Where Laquita at? Where Laquita at? Y'all trifling butts. How you gonna diss AunTeaFee for Laquita with her crazy ass? Yeah, they want Laquita. And so we was talking about Mo3, and it kind of get like that when we talk about Mo3 and when we talk about Dolph. And so Laquita came out. Y'all know I ain't rap too like. Let's go.
Actually aren't the original Jews, and they did that.
Aren't the
Okay,
original
now we've
Jews.
got to
Oh
get
no,
the ADL
where this
there.
look clip? They ain't the original
Candace
Jews.
Owens knows the truth.
And they applauded this book. And then after 1948, the rabbis were like, hey, so we were deciding whether or not we were going to take over Uganda or Israel, or I think they were also taking a look at Madagascar at one point too. And then they decided on Israel, and they're like, okay, well, we're kind of a tough sell. We can like, take over people's land, so why don't we try to make this like biblical? And they did
Miss
that.
Tom,
Said, okay, now
Miss
we've got to
Tom,
just get rid
are
of
you
all the
calling for
books.
Laquita? Are you messing with me, Miss Tom? Miss Tom. She said your eye poking through Candace. Miss Tom, will you please stop? It was freaking you out. Your eye poking through Candace's head is freaking me out. Oh my God, y'all are funny to me. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go out and come back in again. Lord, Lord. What's wrong with y'all? Oh my God. And now what is this?
Candace Owens knows the truth.
And they applauded this book. And then after 1948, the rabbis were like, hey, so we were deciding whether or not we were going to take over Uganda or Israel, or I think they were also taking a look at Madagascar at one point too. And then they decided on Israel, and they're like, okay, well, it's kind of a tough sell. We're just going to like take over people's land, so why don't we try to make this like biblical? And they did that, and they said, okay, now we've got to just get rid of all the books that we publish saying that we actually aren't the original Jews. And they did that. Okay, now we've got to get the ADL very active in smearing anybody who questions it. We also have to turn it into an ethnicity. It's not just a religion anymore, it's an ethnicity. And yeah, they've done. And if you'd like to dive into a little more scripture, I think what's relevant is
I don't know what's going on.
Candace Owens knows the truth.
And they applauded this book. And then after 1948, the rabbis were like, hey, so we were deciding whether or not we were going to take over Uganda or Israel, or I think they were also taking a look at Madagascar at one point too. And then they decided on Israel, and they're like, okay, well, it's kind of a tough sell. We're just going to like take over people's land, so why don't we try to make this like biblical? And they did that, and they said, okay, now we've got to just get rid of all the books that we publish saying that we actually aren't the original Jews. And they did that. Okay, now we've got to get the ADL very active in smearing anybody who questions it. We also have to turn it into an ethnicity. It's not just a religion anymore, it's an ethnicity. And yeah, they've done. And if you'd like to dive into a little more scripture, I think what's relevant is Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. And I'm speaking directly to you, Rabbi Shmuley. The fact that you would try to say, I am Jewish, and this is what I believe, and do and say the things that you are doing. People can see and hear evil, and what you are doing right now is an act of evil.
Your family and friends will call you a liar for knowing this truth. So I have forged an arsenal of the 10 most irrefutable proofs the Israelites are black. Comment facts to get your copy now, or click the link in my bio. Candace Owens knows the truth.
And they applauded this book. And then after 1948, the rabbis were like, hey, so we were deciding whether or not we were going to take over Uganda or Israel, or I think they were also taking a look at Madagascar at one point too. And then they decided on Israel, and they're like, okay, well, it's kind of a tough sell. We're just going to like take over people's land, so why don't we try to make this like biblical? And they did that, and they said, okay, now we've got to just get rid of all the books that we publish saying that we actually aren't the original Jews. And they did that. Okay, now we've got to get the ADL very active in smearing anybody who questions it. We also have to turn it into an ethnicity. It's not just a religion anymore, it's an ethnicity. And yeah, they've done. And if you'd like to dive into a little more scripture, I think what's relevant is Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. And I'm speaking directly to you, Rabbi Shmuley. The fact that you would try to say, I am Jewish, and this is what I believe, and do and say the things that you are doing. People can see and hear evil, and what you are doing right now is an act of evil.
Your family and friends will call you a liar for knowing this truth. So I have forged an arsenal.
Oh, we man.
Irrefutable proofs the Israelites are black.
Wow. You think she told?
I don't know about this long-standing feud that you've had with Sean Combs.
GMA Monday morning.
What brought you to this project?
50 Cent on his highly
Oh Lord, so much going on. So, Mrs. Tom, you remember earlier when we was talking about that cholesterol and them dirty doctors trying to trick us? And listen.
They told you that Alzheimer's is a mystery. They told you there's no cure. They told you that it's just bad luck and age. But what if I told you that the truth about Alzheimer's is a lot darker than you think? Here's the history that they buried. Alzheimer's was almost non-existent before the 20th century. No epidemics, no nursery homes packed with memory loss patients. So why is it now the 6th leading cause of death in the US? Let's follow the trail. Who discovered Alzheimer's? A man by the name Alois Alzheimer in 1906. But he didn't name the disease. Emil Kraepelin did. A man that was working with Big Pharma to classify mental disorders. And Pharma started searching for treatments the exact same year that the disease was named. Coincidence? In the 1990s, they told you that Alzheimer's was from plaques and tangles in the brain. And Big Pharma made drugs to target the plaques. Billions spent, decades wasted. And not a single drug worked because the plaques weren't the issue. Then in 2022, scientists dropped the bomb. The original Alzheimer's research was faked. A key study that launched decades of pharma drugs, fabricated images. You heard that right. An entire field of medicine built on lies. And here's what they don't want you to know. Alzheimer's isn't a brain disease. It is a metabolic disease. Some call it type 3 diabetes. Why do they call it that? Because Alzheimer's brains can't use glucose, and modern agriculture played a big part. But what's causing it? Sugar overload, processed and fake foods, a sedentary life, inflammation, statins. Yes, the cholesterol drugs, chemicals and toxins. Wait, cholesterol? Correct. Your
The
brain
cholesterol
is made of fat
medicine.
and cholesterol. Didn't know that? And statins lower cholesterol, which means your brain gets starved. Makes sense? Low cholesterol means memory loss, confusion, and brain fog. The same symptoms they call Alzheimer's. And people that fast regularly, low Alzheimer's risk. People that move daily, low Alzheimer's risk. People that eat nutrient-dense natural foods, low Alzheimer's risk. But that's never mentioned. Why? Because fasting and walking cannot be patented. The Alzheimer's industry is worth $300 billion. Drugs that don't work, nursery homes that sedate, doctors who never ask about diet, lifestyle, or insulin. It's not about curing you. It's about billing you for life. Comment Alzheimer's below.
So that medicine that they was trying to get us to take for cholesterol would have eventually, could have possibly led to Alzheimer's. I said, we just talked about that medicine. It's still sitting right here that I didn't take. Oh, okay. Yeah, but I wouldn't have never, ever. Okay, now before we get back to Candace, listen.
All right, racists, we're going to address this again since the inferior people are struggling. Black Americans are the only indigenous people on this land. Melanated people are the only people around the world who are indigenous on every land, no matter their ethnic group. Uncivilized lands all have the same genetic connection, melanated skin with varying shades of brown. And those groups are not connected to Africa, just like Black Americans aren't connected to Africans ethnically. The actual American Indian,
right, but that medicine would have
are
lord
the
it.
ethnic group of North America, not descendants of Africans. Let's dismantle the greatest public relations fraud ever committed, the desperate multiracial campaign to erase the true indigenous Black American from this land. There is a coordinated effort, a relentless
I know
lie
we just
designed
talked
to make
about
Black
it. That's what
Americans
made me
believe they
think
are a
about
guest
it
in
when I
someone
saw
else's
it.
house. But the unchangeable archaeological and historical truth is that Black Americans are the foundation. They were here first. And by here, I mean the world. Every country. Every strip of land. And they built the civilization that we are all destroying. The lie about Africa is to confuse and mislead so
See,
that
y'all,
the theft can keep going on.
interesting
Black
to
Americans
me
weren't even
how
considered African American
right
until
now it
1988
seems
by
like everybody is putting the truth out. Like we don't even have to right now. Are y'all paying attention to that? It's like they're saying, okay, time out. Let's be clear.
Alright, racists, we're going to address this again, since the inferior people are struggling. Black Americans are the only indigenous people on this land. Melanated people are the only people around the world who are indigenous on every land, no matter their ethnic group. Uncivilized lands all have the same genetic connection, melanated skin with varying shades of brown. And those groups are not connected to Africa, just like Black Americans aren't connected to Africans, ethnically. The actual American Indian, known as the Black Americans, are the ethnic group of North America, not descendants of Africans. Let's dismantle the greatest public relations fraud ever committed, the desperate multiracial campaign to erase the true indigenous Black American from this land. There is a coordinated effort, a relentless lie, designed to make Black Americans believe they are a guest in someone else's house. But the unchangeable archaeological and historical truth is that Black Americans are the foundation. They were here first. And by here, I mean the world. Every country. Every strip of land. And they built the civilization that
50
we
Shades
are
of
all destroying. The lie
Brown.
about Africa is to
We are the
confuse and
Queen
mislead so that the
Mother.
theft can keep going on. Black Americans weren't even considered African American until 1988 by Jesse Jackson,
Facts.
a known Cherokee Indian. So they'll pay a Black American leader to lie and sell out, while classifying himself correctly despite the lie. If Black Americans came from Africa by boat in the 1600s, America didn't figure this out until 1988? And this isn't just a white lie. This is a lie, woven by $5 pretendians, by secret treaties between immigrant groups, by decades of policy and propaganda all aimed at one single goal, convincing the world that the original people of this soil simply do not exist. They have every story in the world about the false history. And then you ask for ship manifest and evidence of ships, and then suddenly they can't produce them. But they could show you evidence of the Titanic hundreds of feet under the ocean. They won't even show you the entirety of the Titanic under the water. Only a corner of this ship. They still parse that history. They have reclassified the true indigenous people, renamed you, and redrawn maps around you, hoping you would forget the land your spirit is made from. Now they deploy their little native influencers online, armed with fraudulent petitions and digital picket signs, begging platforms to remove you from your own story. They're performing a pathetic pantomime of indigeneity. If you are indigenous, why would you need outside help? What are they protecting? If you're truly indigenous Native Americans, how could someone take that from you? Why the sudden panic? Every post they make, every petition they circulate is an admission. You've been caught, and now history will be made. Every other race are the visitors. It is time, Black Americans. Time for you to start acting like the host in your home, because all of this is yours. It is time you start acting like the host. All right, racists, we're going to address...
Well. Dear Laquita, please stop with 50 Shades of Brown. It's making... 50 Shades of Brown, baby. I need to market that. No, watch somebody else gonna do it. Now, I know. I shouldn't have said nothing. We know we heard it here first. Hello. 50 Shades of Brown. Leave it to Laquita. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And what's my other one? If I'm a nigga, you a nigga too. You just white chocolate, boo-boo. Yeah. Absolutely. I got one more before we go back over there.
Saudi Arabia giving $25 million, Qatar, all of these countries. These are people that kill women and treat women horribly. and yet
Qatar?
you take their money.
Not a gift to me, it's a gift to the Department of Defense.
Qatar kills women?
Why don't you give back the money that you've taken from certain countries that treat certain groups of people so horribly?
You should be embarrassed asking that question. They're giving us a free jet. I could say, no, don't give us. I want to pay you $1 billion or 400 million or whatever it is.
Did he forget what he said?
Thank you very much.
Why don't you give back the money? I think it would be a great gesture.
I thought it was a beautiful gesture. Now, there are those that say we shouldn't be accepting gifts to the Defense Department. And I would say only a stupid person would say that. It should have never happened. And I think you owe an explanation to the American people. We're giving to everybody else. Why wouldn't I accept a gift? If I ever said that, that's quid pro quo.
Saudi Arabia giving $25 million, Qatar, all of these countries. These are people that kill women and treat women horribly, and yet you take their money. Not a gift to me, it's a gift to the Department of Defense, and you should know better. Why don't you give back the money that you've taken from certain countries that treat certain groups of people so horribly? You should be embarrassed asking that question. They're giving us a free jet. I could say, no, don't give us.
The color is rejecting.
Or 400 million or whatever
They no longer have that.
Thank you very much.
Why don't you give back the money? I think it would be a great gesture.
I thought it was a beautiful gesture. Now, there are those that say we shouldn't be accepting gifts to the Defense Department.
Or because of his brain disease.
It should have never
They don't
happened.
recommend it on
And
brain
I think
diseases.
You owe an explanation to the American people. We're giving to everybody else. Why wouldn't I accept a gift? If I ever said that, that's quid pro quo.
I thought that was about harassment, but okay. You know, when you have brain stuff, they tell you not to color your hair, don't they? Not to put dyes on it, but I thought that was a wig anyway, right? I thought that was dark and lovely. Soft and beautiful. I mean, L'Oreal. Oh, that's what's wrong with my brain. Yeah, you're not supposed to. I mean, I don't know. I mean, bleach and all of that type of stuff. I don't know, but I don't know about a sew-in or that. Maybe it's that glue when they lay that toothpaste thing down that flips all over, be going, all over the place. I don't know. No. But I know he off on his colors. Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't take that medicine. I wish I was a little darker skinned like my mama. Baby, we are 50 shades of brown. And they hate it because they at the bottom of the colors. They way in the back. You know, when you get the box of Crayolas and them ugly colors and stuff be all way in the back. Them funny peach tins and, sandpaper and, wheat. Yeah, no. They way back there. The closer you get to white. Yeah. Okay, so let's check this.
Hey, y'all, I had to text Candace.
You had to. Okay, y'all, it's 202 people in here. I've been here 38 minutes, and I only have 23 likes. Let's get it up, get it up. Get it up. Get it up. Oh, that don't sound right. Oh, Lord. That don't. Oh. Get the likes up. This is hilarious. Oh my goodness. Can I get y'all to double tap the face of y'all screen? Yes, please. Come on, double tap, double tap, double tap. Let's hear this. I'm all over the place. Let's go. Hello? Who are you, Shiny? Shiny G?
Is insane.
Some people who have tried to touch this story, and we've covered this also in our series that wound up dead. The controversial Candace Owens has been off air all week long. Some say, well, it's a holiday week, she's resting with her family, but others have been concerned for her life because she put out a social media post earlier in the week claiming there was a paid hit on her life from a foreign government. Now, some people say she's making all of this up.
Really, Spencer? My bad. Okay, I'm gonna say my bad 3 times. My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. Once I said it a couple of times, I'm like, ooh, yeah, no. Ooh. What am I summoning? Yeah. Yeah.
A paid hit on her life from a foreign government.
Foreign government.
Some people say she's making all this up, including Nick Fuentes, who was saying, you got to show the evidence. Well, we'll get into that in a minute, but most people are missing the deeper question. What's really happening in the spirit realm right now? We need to discern the signs of the times. We need to pray fervently and strategically, and we need to recognize when something is more than a headline. And I'm telling you, something has shifted in the spirit realm. And we need to be aware.
Is she a voodoo
I want to
lady?
show you footage from a man claiming to be inside the French intelligence agencies.
Yeah.
He's released a video confessing that there was a plan to gut her alive on air. A warning.
Where is that
really
at? I
chilling,
have it. Hold on.
disturbing.
I have that somewhere. I have it where the guy is talking. I don't know if I want to hear it here because I have it. And I just don't know where I have it at. God, dog.
So if you are not ready for it, then just please fast forward, but let's listen in.
A verified high-level whistleblower from French intelligence, a DGSE colonel with direct access to active operations, has confirmed an explicit death threat against American commentator Candace Owens.
Yeah.
According to the source, Israeli authorities authorized the wet work contract to be executed by compromised French assets, with the specific instruction that Owens be gutted like a fish while broadcasting live. The objective is not only to silence her,
live.
the source states that the primary goal is mass
Down to her
trauma.
pelvis.
Millions forced to watch a prominent dissident voice die in real time, mirroring what he described as...
Yeah, but it's a device, because I need to find that. I need to find where I have it, because it was kind of strange. It was like he wasn't going to be where she's at. So it's like they had a device, like it was going to be done through. I need to find where I put that, y'all. I definitely have it. I just don't know if it's going to play it all. Hold on. Let me see if I sent it here. It was, ooh. It was, ooh. And the order was to do it while she is live.
Superstars.
And they wanted... Ah, man. These people are evil. Is everybody else worried about her?
Some of the real...
Let's go ahead and play it. God, dog.
Spectacle signatures of the Mossad, used in the Kennedy assassination 9/11 and the recent killing of Charlie Kirk. Owens cancelled all scheduled appearances within hours of receiving the warning. White House confirmed receipt of the threat yesterday. Counter-terrorism is scrambling. French officials have issued no comments.
It's never been easier to start a podcast than with Riverside.
Yeah, she talked yesterday or the day after Thanksgiving.
My name is Rank Colonel DGSE Action Division. For 21 years I ran black contracts in Africa, Middle East, and yes, sometimes on your soil. Tonight, I break every oath I ever took. 2 days ago, a priority cable landed on my desk. Opération Poignard. Target Candace Owens. Client Unit 8200 liaison embedded inside Colonel DG.
Appearances within officials have issued no comments.
My name is Rank Colonel DGSE Action Division. For 21 years I ran black contracts in Africa, Middle East, and yes, sometimes on your soil. Tonight, I break every oath I ever took. 2 days ago, a priority cable landed on my desk. Opération Poignard. Target Candace Owens. Client Unit 8200 liaison embedded inside the Elysee. Contracts in Africa, Middle East, and yes, sometimes on your soil. DGSE Action Division. For 21 years I ran black contracts in Africa, Middle East, and yes, sometimes on your soil. Tonight, I break every oath I ever took. 2 days ago, a priority cable landed on my desk. Opération Poignard. Target Candace Owens. Client Unit 8200 liaison embedded inside the Elysee. Payment routed through a shell in Cyprus we have used since the Rainbow Warrior days. The directive is explicit. Quote, eliminate the subject during live broadcast. Maximum visceral impact. The blade must be visible. The audience must feel the cut. They want her open from sternum to pelvis, while the rest
must be, yeah, it gotta be over there, because I remember seeing the words.
Impact. The blade must be visible.
The blade must be visible.
The audience must feel the cut.
She must feel the cut.
They want her open from sternum to pelvis, while the red line.
They want from something to her pelvis. They want her cut. Let me see if I can put the captions on. To her pelvis. Yeah, please get the likes up.
The audience must feel the cut. They want her open from sternum to pelvis.
Sternum to the pelvis.
They want the chat scrolling, no, 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 as her intestines hit the desk. That trauma is the secondary payload. Primary payload is you, the viewers. Break the Americans who still speak against Israel. Make the rest too afraid to open their mouths. And frame it as a jihadi attack to push their geopolitical agenda, their usual modus operandi. The team is already in country. 4 operators, 2 ex.
The team is already in the country.
To open their mouths and frame it as a jihadi attack to push their geopolitical agenda, their usual modus operandi. The team is already in country. 4 operators, 2 ex-Legion Blade specialists.
4 operators, 2 ex-Legion Blade specialists.
From Corsica, 1 woman involved in the job on that Saudi journalist in Istanbul. And
Saudi Arabia. Y'all see that? Oh, wow. They have a whole, and a spotter. And Saudi journalist. In Istanbul.
Who was in the crowd in Utah. They have a studio floor plan.
Utah. There was a crowd in Utah. Charlie Kirk. Hold on, let me back that up. The spotter who was it. Okay, so there was the spotter in Utah, in the crowd in Utah.
Utah. They have a studio floor plan. They have the shift change of their security. 2 of their own circle accepted crypto for information 2 weeks ago. When she canceled this week's shows, the orders updated immediately.
So they know she canceled the shows. Yeah, the order is undated immediately. So whenever she's supposed to return, thank you. I can't understand the disguised voice. Yeah.
Mobile kill box. Wherever she surfaces next,
So they have a kill box, a mobile kill box. See, I think they had a kill box for Charlie Kirk. Whenever
it's an emergency.
Whenever she surfaces next, whether it's an emergency stream or if it's an emergency stream, it's down here. Even a dang parking lot live.
They are planning to be there.
They're planning to be there. I sent her a precaution through cutout.
She trusts. There are no rules, no GPS devices, no routines.
There are no rules, no GPS devices, no routines.
But she is stubborn. She thinks exposure protects her.
But she's stubborn, and she thinks the exposure protects her.
It does not.
It does.
Is the bait. If she goes live again,
they said it's the bait. If she goes live again,
without changing her voice print, without hard encryption, without ditching every person who has been within 10 meters of her in the last month, she is as
something about a person who has been within 10 meters of her in the last month. She is
good as dead.
As good
they
as
will let her speak for 5 minutes, long enough for the bot to boost the clip, then the feed will...
Hold on. Long enough for the bot, to boost the chip. Then the feed will
show exactly what they want the world to see.
Show exactly what they want the world to see. A bot will boost the chip. Then the feed will show exactly what they want the world to see.
I am recording this because when they find me, I want there to be a record. This is not rogue. This is policy, signed at the highest level. Tell her, do not trust any American agency that offers protective custody. More than half of them are penetrated. Tell her the only safe move is to disappear completely for 90 days. After that, maybe the war they are planning will make her irrelevant. Play this back.
So tell her to disappear for 90 days. Maybe the war they are planning will make her irrelevant.
Burn every syllable into your skull. Stop it.
Burn every syllable into your skull.
For me. Stop it for her. Stop it before the blade comes for you.
If you want to get your name, phone number, and address off the internet, but want to handle the removals yourself, AunTeaFee's free opt-out guide.
So whether you like it...
Let's go back. And then I'll just let it play. Wow. I think, okay, let's listen again. I think he's from Friends. And he said he reached out to her. He's the one who notified her. I think that's what he said. Let's go. Let's just listen.
Rank Colonel DGSE Action Division. For 21 years I ran black contracts in Africa. 21 years I ran black DGSE Action Division. For 21 years I ran black contracts in Africa, Middle East, and yes, sometimes on your soil. Tonight, I break every oath I ever took. 2 days ago, a priority cable landed on my desk. Operation Poignard. Target Candace Owens. Client, Unit 8200 liaison embedded inside the Elysee, Payment routed through a shell in Cyprus we have used since the Rainbow Warrior days. The directive is explicit. Quote, eliminate the subject during live broadcast. Maximum visceral impact. The blade must be visible. The audience must feel the cut. They want her open from sternum to pelvis while the red light is on. They want the chat scrolling, no, 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 as their intestines hit the desk. That trauma is the secondary payload. Primary payload is you, the viewers. Break the Americans who still speak against Israel. Make the rest too afraid to open their mouths. And frame it as a jihadi attack to push their geopolitical agenda, their usual modus operandi. The team is already in country. 4 operators, 2 ex-Legion Blade specialists from Corsica, 1 woman involved in the job on that Saudi journalist in Istanbul, and a spotter who was in the crowd in Utah. They have our studio floor plan, they have the shift change of our security, 2 of our own...
Okay, I know where I have it. Let me see if it's better over here. I know where it's at now. I just found it. Hold on. Y'all, please get the likes up. So his name is Frank. Oh, it's ranked. Okay. Whistleblower.
Rank Colonel DGSE Action Division. For 21 years I ran black contracts in Africa, Middle East, and yes, sometimes on your soil. Tonight, I break every oath I ever took. 2 days ago, a priority cable landed on my desk. Opération Poignard. Target Candace Owens. Client, Unit 8200 liaison embedded inside the Elysee. Payment routed through a shell in Cyprus we have used since the Rainbow Warrior days. The directive is explicit. Quote, eliminate the subject during live broadcast. Maximum visceral impact. The blade must be visible. The audience must feel the cut. They want her open from sternum to pelvis while the red light is on. They want the chat scrolling, no, 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 as their intestines hit the desk. That trauma is the secondary payload. Primary payload is you, the viewers. Break the Americans who still speak against Israel. Make the rest too afraid to open their mouths. And frame it as a jihadi attack to push their geopolitical agenda, their usual modus operandi. The team is already in country. 4 operators, 2 ex-Legion Blade specialists from Corsica, 1 woman involved in the job on that Saudi journalist in Istanbul, and a spotter who was in the crowd in Utah. They have our studio floor plan, they have the shift change of our security. 2 of our own circle accepted crypto for information 2 weeks ago. When she cancelled this week's shows, the orders updated immediately. Mobile killbox. Wherever she surfaces next, whether it's an emergency stream, even a goddamn parking lot live stream, they are planning to be there. I sent her the precaution through a cutout she trusts. Burner rules, no GPS devices, no routines, but she is stubborn. She thinks exposure protects her. It does not. It is the bait. If she goes live again without changing her voice print, without hard encryption, without ditching every person who has been within 10 meters of her in the last month, she is as good as dead. They will let her speak for 5 minutes, long enough for the bot to boost the clips, and the feed will show exactly what they want the world to see. I am recording this because when they find me, I want there to be a record. This is not rogue, this is policy, signed at the highest level. Tell her, do not trust any American agency that offers protective custody. More than half of them are penetrated. Tell her the only safe move is to disappear completely for 90 days. After that, maybe the war they are planning will make her irrelevant. Is rank Colonel
They're planning the war.
For 21 years, I ran black contracts in Africa, Middle East.
He said, quoting a conversation between two persons. No, it sounds like he is recording himself to protect himself just in case he get busted for exposing it. I guess, I don't know. But it's saying she needs to either remove herself from anybody that she has been within 10 meters.
And yes, sometimes on your soil. Tonight, I break every oath I ever took. 2 days ago, a priority cable landed.
This is so reminding me of those 3 people that's on that roof. Like the guy in the military that was looking out, like the guy that was in the all black. When you're talking about there's a spotter.
Landed on my desk. Opération Poignard.
That was in Utah.
Target Candace Owens. Client Unit 8200 liaison embedded inside the Elysee. Payment routed through a shell in Cyprus we have used since the Rainbow Warrior days. The directive is explicit. Quote, eliminate the subject during live broadcast. Maximum visceral impact. The blade must be visible. The audience must feel the cut. They want her open from sternum to pelvis while the red light is on. They want the chat scrolling, no, 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 as their intestines hit the desk. That trauma is the secondary payload. Primary payload is you, the viewers.
Sound like he's reading the instructions from whoever put the order on his desk or send him the order.
And frame it as a jihadi attack to push their geopolitical agenda. Their usual modus operandi. The team is already in country. 4 operators, 2 ex-Legion Blade specialists from Corsica, 1 woman involved in the job on that Saudi journalist in Istanbul, and a spotter who was in the crowd in Utah. They have our studio floor plan, they have the shift change of our security. 2 of their own circle accepted crypto for information 2 weeks ago.
2 of their own circle.
Shows the orders updated immediately. Mobile kill box. Wherever she surfaces next, whether it's an emergency stream, even a goddamn parking lot live stream, they are planning to be there. I sent her the precaution through a cutout she trusts. Burner rules, no GPS devices, no routines, but she is stubborn. She thinks exposure protects her. It does not. It is the bait. If she goes live again without changing her voice print, without hard encryption, without ditching every person who has been within 10 meters of her in the last month, she is as good as dead. They will let her speak for 5 minutes, long enough for the boss.
Yeah, he has a voiceover.
Show exactly what they want the world to see.
Brenda, he has a voiceover.
I'm recording this because when they find me, I want there to be a record. This is not rogue. This is policy, signed at the highest level. Tell her, do not trust any American agency that offers protective custody. More than half of them are penetrated. Tell her the only safe move is to disappear completely for 90 days. After that, maybe the war they are planning will make her irrelevant.
Yeah, I knew I had it. Yeah, so they are planning a war, and probably be in the U.S. Yeah, it sounded like he was reading his orders. He said he got some orders across his desk, and it was Candace, and it came with those instructions, and those details is what I got from it. But I could have sworn, I know he said that he told her this. Let me stop it there. Let me just...
Rank Colonel DGSE Action Division. For 21 years I ran black contracts in Africa, Middle East, and yes, sometimes on your soil. Tonight I break every oath I ever took. 2 days ago, a priority cable landed on my desk.
A priority. 2 days ago, a priority cable landed on my desk.
Opération Poignard.
Target Candace
Owens. Client, Unit 8200 liaison embedded inside the Elysee. Payment routed through a shell in Cyprus we have used since the Rainbow Warrior days. The directive is explicit. Quote.
The directive is explicit. Quote, eliminate the subject during live broadcast.
Eliminate the subject during live broadcast. Maximum visceral impact. The blade must be visible. The audience must feel the cut. They want her open from sternum to pelvis while the red light is on. They want...
The red light is on. Her camera, I guess her live. They want the chat scrolling as her intestines hit the desk.
The chat scrolling, no, as her intestines hit the desk. That trauma is the secondary payload. Primary payload is you, the viewers. Break the Americans who still speak against Israel.
Make the rest too afraid to open their mouths.
The rest too afraid to open their mouths. And frame it. As a jihadi attack to push their geo...
Yeah, so they want to frame it. So they're going to say it is jihadi attack to push their geopolitical agenda. So that's who they're going to say it is. They already know who they're going to put it on.
Political agenda. Their usual modus operandi. The team is already in country. 4 operators, 2 ex-Legion Blade specialists from Corsica, 1 woman involved in the job on that Saudi journalist in Istanbul, and a spotter who was in the crowd in Utah. They have our studio floor plan, they have the shift change of our security. 2 of our own circle accepted crypto for information 2 weeks ago. When she cancelled this week's shows, the orders updated immediately. Mobile kill box. Wherever she surfaces next, whether it's an emergency stream, even a goddamn parking lot live stream, they are planning to be there. I sent her the precaution.
Right there. It said, I sent her the precaution to work out she trusts. To work out, whatever. So when I saw that, it said, I sent her the precautions to work out she trusts. So this person has notified her.
Through a cutout she trusts. Burner rules, no GPS devices, no routines, but she...
Okay, so he said he notified her and he told her the burner rules, no GPS devices, no routines, but she is stubborn. So he's made contact with her.
She's stubborn. She thinks exposure protects her. It does not. It is the bait. If she goes live again without changing her voice print, without our...
So it says, so it has her voice print. If she goes live again without changing her voice print, without hard, see like he changed his voice print, without hard encryption, without ditching every person who has been within 10 meters of her.
Ditching every person who has been within 10 meters of her in the last month. She is as good as dead.
Within the last month, she is as good as unalive.
They will let her speak for 5 minutes. Long in...
Oh, wow. They'll let her speak for 5 minutes, long enough for the bots to boost.
Enough for the bot to boost the clip, then the feed will show exactly what they want the world to see. I am recording this because when they find me, I want there to be a record. This is not rogue, this is policy, signed at the highest level. Tell her, do not trust any American agency that offers protective custody.
They've been compromised.
More than half of them are penetrated. Tell her the only safe move is to disappear completely for 90 days.
Oh my God, y'all. And it's really scary because she is stubborn. Because she is stubborn. What do y'all think? Y'all please get the likes up. Please double tap the face. So let's get back over here.
Candace or not, that's not the point here.
After that, burn every syllable into your skull. Stop it for me. Stop it for her. Stop it before the blade comes for you.
So whether you like it.
Oh yeah, well, see, it's not about liking her. It's about that they don't want their truth out. Now, people can say what they want to say. They can say what they want to say about her. They do not want the truth out. You understand?
Candace or not, that's not the point here. This language, these types of videos, they're not normal. The accusation is not casual. This isn't trolling. This isn't online drama or bots. This is the kind of language that's rooted in intimidation, fear, and demonic hatred. So could all this be fabricated?
Okay, so what'd you say? What I missed? One woman. Okay, I was in the other room and could hear much better. I think I was trying to listen too hard. It was easier to. I stopped listening to what she had and went to where I had it stored, and it was easier to hear as well. Trying to listen too hard, it was easier to hear if you're not concentrating too hard. Okay, yeah, at least for me. Hey, Purple Flower. Yeah.
And demonic hatred. So could all this be fabricated? Yes. And can it be real? Also yes. But because the consequences here are life and death, we don't have the luxury of dismissing it because we don't like the messenger. So should we take this seriously? Yes. We should, and others are. Credible voices. Listen to this. General Mike Flynn on Twitter posted, "There's plenty of truth to all these accusations." And then Telegram CEO Pavel Durov has supported Candace's claim that there was French involvement in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And in a tweet, he said that Owens' claims regarding French involvement in Kirk's demise are entirely plausible. And then, of course, you heard from Officer Brandon Tatum, who has had his differences with Candace, but he is speaking out.
Then, brother, the American government, I don't care how much you don't like Candace, I don't care how much you've been trashing the American government and the FBI, they got to do something. And
they involved.
They will do.
They involved.
It doesn't matter right, wrong, or indifferent. They have to investigate this.
They involved.
They have to investigate this. And I think that if it is found to be true and the proof prevails, which I'm convinced, after talking to Candace and the stuff that we talked about, I'm convinced, then that means that there should be dire consequences for the French government and whoever else was involved, the Macrons, whatever, dire consequences. I'm talking about the American government should go after them like never before.
So I'm not saying believe it's real because these other voices are saying so, though I do believe it's a real threat. When someone's life is threatened publicly, whether it's authentic or it's manufactured, the enemy is at work. And when a voice in culture is silenced through fear or censorship or intimidation or physical danger, you've got to pay attention. Spiritual watchmen don't shrug off threats. We test them. We pray them through. We ask the Holy Spirit for insight. So even if this did turn out to be a hoax, and I do not believe that it is, the spirit behind it is not. We don't know whether this was a rogue operator, a planted narrative, a psychological tactic, or a genuine inside leak. But what we do know is this. Number one, threats against outspoken figures are real and increasing. Number two, governments have had a long history of silencing inconvenient voices. Number three, the enemy loves to weaponize fear to shut down voices that are exposing things. And number four, accusations of lying are one of the enemy's oldest tactics to discredit voices before eliminating them. Jesus was accused of lying. Paul was accused of lying. Jeremiah was accused of lying. Prophets throughout Scripture were accused of lying to undermine their influence. So the accusation itself tells us nothing. But why are people so quick to say Candace is lying about this? Why? Why are people so quick to say she's lying? I can't imagine someone lying about something like this. I suppose anything's possible. But I think the reason why is because the spirit of the age conditions people to distrust anyone who challenges the narrative. When Jezebel wanted to eliminate Naboth, she didn't kill him outright. First, she accused him falsely and had someone else do the dirty work. When the Pharisees wanted to silence Stephen, they accused him of blasphemy. When Paul stirred cities with the gospel, he was accused of creating riots. So false accusation in itself is a spiritual weapon. It's a silencing, discrediting tactic. It's character assassination designed to make people dismiss the target long before any attack takes place. And that's why accusations alone cannot determine truth.
If you have dementia or are afraid you might have it, you shouldn't drink warm water, and I'll explain why.
So what's really going on here? Here's what I see as the biggest picture, or the bigger picture that most people are missing. No matter the validity of the alleged French agent, the timing here is prophetic. We are watching a swelling global hostility toward free speech. We are watching increasing attempts to regulate, punish, or intimidate dissenting voices. We are watching a growing alignment between political powers and media machines. We are watching aggressive spiritual backlash against those who refuse to bow to cultural pressure. This is not merely political, this is spiritual. I'm telling you, the enemy hates any voice that exposes darkness, questions corruption, or emboldens ordinary people to think independently. So even if you disagree with Candace on 1,000 points, the chilling reality is this. If governments or power structures can silence one voice with threats of violence, they can silence anyone. And this is why we need to pay attention. The situation reveals two demonic strategies operating right now. Number one, the spirit of intimidation. The spirit seeks to shut down voices through fear. Elijah faced this with the spirit of Jezebel. Nehemiah faced it with Sanballat and Tobiah. Paul faced it through mobs stirred by political manipulation. Intimidation is a weapon of rulers of darkness to silence spiritual influence or any influence. And of course, we also talked about the spirit of accusation. This one is ancient. The enemy uses accusation to discredit someone's credibility before launching the real attack. You can see it. So in public, if the public already believes she's lying, no one will, cry out when she's, quote unquote, kills herself. And this is how demonic plots advanced unnoticed. And so what should the body of Christ be doing right now? Not gossip, not mocking, not speculating, not choosing sides.
Praying.
Fighting against each other. We need to pray. Pray for protection. Pray for exposure of wicked plans. That's what I said in my last video. Pray for discernment. Pray that no weapon formed against any voice, whether we agree with them or not, can prosper. Don't curse voices. I was just in a meeting where someone was praying, shut Tucker's voice down. It's demonic. That's witchcraft prayers.
Absolutely. Hateful prayers.
It's witchcraft prayers. So pray for the fear of the Lord to fall on every plotter, planner and dark strategist. Pray for the boldness of the righteous to rise. This may end up being one of the first public indicators of a larger spiritual and government shaking. Actually, I think the Charlie Kirk assassination was that. But the church has to respond with vigilance, not with cynicism. Not with cynicism. We can't be cynical. That will block our discernment. We need to respond, not with accusations, not with denial, with discernment. And whether the threat is real or fabricated, the atmosphere behind it is dark.
Right.
And when darkness rises, we don't retreat. We watch, we pray, we engage, we stand. And remember this, no earthly power can silence the voice of God. Amen.
Amen.
So we have to stop fighting each other as Christians and start discerning the signs of the times. We need to preach the gospel. People are dying and going to hell every day while we criticize each other's opinions. This is getting dangerous and it needs to stop. Guys, I love you.
It's very demonic. And we have to also remember that the Zionists, shout out to Jennifer, the Jennifer LeClaire's ministry. Shout out to her. My first time coming over here. I dig that. Yeah. And earlier when I said I was going someplace else today, and it was going into their secret society church, because it is spiritual warfare. And yeah, it's pretty deep. What's next, y'all? Get the likes up. I told you we were gonna be going in, so I need for y'all to come on and let's get the likes up. Double tap the face of the screen. Can y'all do that for me? I'm going to give y'all a few minutes. Just double tap. Just do like that. And if you're not using a phone device, please, you can use the three dots at the top, right, to get to the likes. I'm trying to make a copy. Just double tap the face of the screen. I see the numbers go up. Then I'll start back. Please, come on, y'all. I got some more I need to touch bases with. This is so not cool. This is all because they don't want to be exposed. Hey, Anna, please bring the lights out. All you have to do is just double tap. If you're on your phone, and if you are on a computer, hit the three dots at the top right, and it will take you to the like button. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. This is ooh wee. And so yeah, so that would mean the macarons, Israel, Trump, all of it. They all involved. And so, I mean, yeah. I hated to hear the word crypto. All of it is just crazy. It just does not make sense. because they decided that they wanted to do some stuff. And have this organized crime, human, all of this is just big mess. And now we got a president that in office that's going to tie us up in a war that don't have anything to do with us. Man, this is crazy. Okay, okay, let's go. Lord, please protect her. She can't trust nobody. He told her not to trust anybody. I don't even trust Erica. I never have. But I definitely don't trust her now. Okay, let's get back. Let's get to where more fraud at turning point. That's not what I had next, but let's see what. Bear with me, I'm trying to get back. That has really thrown me off. I just want y'all to know that. It gets worse. I'm still here. I'm just trying to get to see which one of these I want to play next. Two investigators discover possible missing evidence. No, I don't want to do that. Why? CIA. Saving Candace. Let's see what this one is.
Okay, good morning, you marvelous, marvelous, beautiful people. You beautiful, beautiful people. So, good morning. And we're into day 2 now of the Candace assassination. So, we're adding our thoughts. And today I'm going to present a little bit of an alternative scenario, a little bit of an alternative as well as yesterday. Just so that someone is thinking about the alternatives. Usually in military warfare, in military situations, they start with a feint. They start with a feint in one direction or another. It's usually never the true attack. And then they attack in a second direction. It's a very standard military thing. Mike Flynn, I talked to some people at the military academies that would joke that Mike Flynn would always saint left and attack right. So they analyze these things in war colleges. They analyze these signatures of the different generals and so forth. So not trying to get sick. I'm just working hard. So yeah, I am getting up early, and I know that it could be conducive to getting sick, but we're just working hard, just like football. Yeah, that's another thing in any sports is when you have a basketball in your hands, you fake left and go right, you fake right and go left. And this is no different in the area of assassination. It's not any different. You fake left and go right. You say it's going to be French Foreign Legion, but it turns out to be the Azov guys all over again. And I'm going to present information that will show you where the assassination will most likely come from. And it's only to help her prepare to prevent and defend against the most likely place that the assassination will come from. So, good morning, beautiful, beautiful people. Yes, good morning, beautiful people. Thank you very much for the kind words. The colloidal silver, I love my elderberry. I got to get back on the elderberry. I've been walking these dogs outside a lot, and it's been raining, and so I think maybe that's where I've got a little bit of the stuff going on. Before I get too much further, though, I'd like to do a simultaneous sip to Scott Adams. I heard he had to end his podcast early yesterday because of the drug regimen, and then he's on. This may very well have been whoever gave her this lead, may very well just take a total hypothetical situation that over this Thanksgiving break, she wanted to go somewhere with her kids and meet her husband, George Farmer, and let's say they went to the British Virgin Islands, just to pick a place where I know they didn't go. There's an immediate threat there. There's an immediate threat when you travel, when you go internationally, that you're going to be seen, etc. So this may very well have been whoever gave her this lead, may very well have been a threat. But again, I go to looking at the fundamentals to the threat. And the fundamentals are that this is about a lawsuit basically about Candace Owens saying that the First Lady of France is a man. And that's really not the stuff that launches assassination brigades. The stuff that does launch the assassination brigades and the people who have the means, motive, and opportunity
Israel
is what I want to present today. And it's our standard.
Let's be clear. The message said nothing about the Macrons. But what it did say is that no one else will say anything about Israel. Hi, Bill. Did we get that, y'all? It said nothing about the Macrons. It did say they want the intestines on the table, and while she's saying no, 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 and the viewers will be so afraid that no one else will say anything about Israel. So, but I do know that initially what she said, what she got was that it was coming from the Macrons, and that the assassins, because the assassins, it mentioned a male and a female, but that they were Israelis. And now it's saying the same spotter that was in Utah. Now, because do y'all remember when I mentioned about President Trump's fake assassin, but his ear, that same security cat was there by Trump? So like they used the same people. Yeah, it's a guy and a lady. It was a guy and a lady. But I heard what Candace has said was that the guy was from that they hired an assassin that had already been paid, and he was from Israeli. But they had a number of people that are going to be involved. But there was a female in Utah. Two of their own in the U.S. Oh well, I said U.S. It could have been two of their own. It could have been France. I don't know, but it's a combination of people involved. But with the guy who the contract came, the wire came to him. He said Israeli. I mean, Israel. So that nobody else would, I mean, everybody else would be too afraid to bring up Israel.
Analysis of means, motive, and opportunity. And I think when you see the means, motive, and opportunity test, excuse me,
30 meters. So whoever she's been around within 30 meters in 30 days, she needs to remove herself from them. Hold on. 30 meters. That's not it. Hold on. Hold on. You're welcome. Hold on.
Division. For 21 years, I ran black contracts in Africa, Middle East, and yes, sometimes on your soil. Tonight, I break every oath I ever took. 2 days ago, a priority cable landed on my desk. Operation Poignard. Target Candace Owens. Client, Unit 8200 liaison embedded inside the Elysee. Payment routed through a shell in Cyprus we have used since the Rainbow Warrior days. The directive is explicit. Quote, eliminate the subject during live broadcast. Maximum visceral impact. The blade must be visible. The audience must feel the cut. They want her open from sternum to pelvis while the red light is on. They want the chat scrolling, no, 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 as their intestines hit the desk. That trauma is the secondary payload. Primary payload is you, the viewers. Break the Americans who still speak against Israel. Make the rest too afraid to
speak
open their mouths.
against Israel.
As a jihadi attack to push their geopolitical agenda. Their usual modus operandi. The team is already in country. 4 operators, 2 ex-Legion blade specialists from Corsica, 1 woman involved in the job on that Saudi journalist in Istanbul, and a
That's the journalist.
in Utah.
Saudi Arabia, Saudi journalist.
They have the shift change of their security. 2 of her own circle accepted crypto for information 2 weeks ago. When she cancelled this week's shows, the orders updated immediately. Mobile killbox. Wherever she surfaces next, whether it's an emergency stream, even a goddamn parking lot live stream, they are planning to be there. I sent her the precaution through a cutout she trusts. Burner rules, no GPS devices, no routines, but she is stubborn. She thinks exposure protects her. It does not. It is the bait. If she goes live again without changing her voice print, without hard encryption, without ditching every person who has been within 10 meters of her in the last month, she is as good as dead. They will let her speak for 5 minutes, long enough for the
Did you see that?
clips, and the feed will show exactly what they want to.
Anybody who's been at the last 30 days who's been around her, we haven't heard from her since the day after Thanksgiving mass appeal. Let me just double check. See, yeah. And I think it's messed up that the propaganda that they're putting out on her now, the fake narratives, is intentional, and they know they got this going on right now. Mm. Oh, hold on. She may have. Oh no, she haven't. Since Friday. Unless she said something yesterday and I missed it. Okay, let's go. Y'all, please get the likes up. Please double tap the face of your screen. Please get the likes up. Hey, Vicky. Let's listen to this.
When you see the means, motive, and opportunity test, you'll say, that makes sense. That makes sense. First of all, when you are second in line and you're on a kill list of some type, usually that kill list is prepared by one group or organization. It's not the chances of you being on the kill list of two totally separate organizations that don't know each other is very.
Say that again.
People who have the means, motive, and opportunity is what I want to present today. And it's our standard analysis of means, motive, and opportunity. And I think when you see the means, motive, and opportunity test, when you see the means, motive, and opportunity test, you'll say, that makes sense. That makes sense. First of all, when you are second in line and you're on a kill list of some type, usually that kill list is prepared by one group or organization. It's not the chances of you being on the kill list of two totally separate organizations that don't know each other is very
Oh, yeah,
low.
they know each other.
It's usually that you're goring the ox, if you will, publicly, of one organization, and they put you on the kill list. Mm-hmm. And now remember, both Candace and Charlie are Turning Point USA. Remember, both of them are reacting against the Ukraine war. Remember, both of them are, she's talking against, if you will, publicly, of one organization, and they put you on the kill list. And now remember, both Candace and Charlie are Turning Point USA. Mm-hmm. Remember, both of them are reacting against the Ukraine war. Remember, both of them are, she's talking against the, she's talking against Rob McCoy. She's talking against Turning Point USA. Mm-hmm. She's talking against these NAR churches, not so much the NAR churches, but these billionaires that are a part of this organization Zionist. Called ZikLag. Oh. She had me on the show. She played a clip of my of me talking about ZikLag, these wealthy donors from the Dallas and Fort Worth and Houston. So does that sound like another assassination you've heard about with Bobby Kennedy and John F. Kennedy, right? And so there's a lot more historical patterns here as far as, yes, I will definitely take the elderberry tea and the green tea. Fort Worth
Let's go Texas.
And Houston.
And it's so ironic because, oh my God, if my regular tea sippers on ADOLPH, man, this is just so ammo 3. Isn't it always, it's always kind of like the same circle. It's blowing my mind. It's blowing my mind to hear Dallas, Houston. I just don't believe in coincidences like that. And then here, I'll tell you what else in here, because I know the Seniola cartels, and even with Yuck Mouth, you know, ugh. And then your president, he pardons narco Honduras.
With Bobby Kennedy and John F. Kennedy, right? And so these billionaires that are a part of this organization called Ziklag. She had me on the show. She played a clip of of me talking about Ziklag, these wealthy donors from the Dallas and Fort Worth and Houston. So does that sound like another assassination you've heard about with Bobby Kennedy and John F. Kennedy, right? And so there's a lot more historical patterns here as far as, yes, I will definitely take the elderberry tea and the green tea. We'll get that going. But my fear is the previous assassination. Let's say somebody is a serial killer and so
What's
forth.
that?
It's usually the same killer. If it's a Zodiac killer, it's usually the Zodiac killer. It's the BTTK killer. It's usually the BTTK killer with the next person on the list. It's not usually some random person on another continent. We had a murder that happened in Utah. We had a murder that happened in the United States. We had a person all around. The people that were all around Charlie were not French Foreign Legion, were not the Second French Foreign Legion. The people that are all around Charlie Kirk were TPUSA people. The people that were, I just got back from Los Angeles, the people that were all around Charlie Kirk with Melissa Straight, Prager University, just did a very large event in Sherman Oaks with Rob McCoy. Now, if you look at the analysis here, it's usually the same killer. If it's a Zodiac killer, it's usually the Zodiac killer. It's the BTTK killer. It's usually the BTTK killer.
Oh, let me
the
put
next person on the list. It's not usually some random person on another continent. We had a murder that happened in Utah. We had her. She's talking against these NAR churches, not so much the NAR churches, but these billionaires that are a part of this organization called Ziklag. She had
Ziglag. You see it? Ziglag. You hear it? Ziglag.
She's talking against these NAR churches, not so much the NAR churches, but these billionaires that are a part of this organization called Ziklag. She had me on the show. She played a clip of me talking about Ziklag, these wealthy donors from the Dallas and Fort Worth and Houston. So does that sound like another assassination you've heard about with Bobby Kennedy and John F. Kennedy, right? And so there's a lot more historical patterns here as far as, yes, I will definitely take the elderberry tea and the green tea. We'll get that going. But my fear is the previous assassination. Let's say somebody is a serial killer and so forth. It's usually the same killer. If it's a Zodiac killer, it's usually the Zodiac killer. It's the BTTK killer. It's usually the BTTK killer with the next person on the list. It's not usually some random person on another continent. We had a murder that happened in Utah. We had a murder that happened in the United States. We had a person all around. The people that were all around Charlie were not French Foreign Legion, were not the Second French Foreign Legion. The people that were all around Charlie Kirk were TPUSA people. The people that were, I just got back from Los Angeles, the people that were all around Charlie Kirk with Melissa Straight and Prager University just did a very large event in Sherman Oaks with Rob McCoy. Now, if if you look at the analysis here, and we have done a lot of probability analysis. Thank you very much. We've done a lot of probability analysis in the past, and all the mathematical models that we've applied in the past for our Bayesian, it's what we call Bayesian search, and I've written a lot of articles about Bayesian search. All the articles that we've written say that it's basically Shakespeare. All past is prologue. All the past is the most likely thing. If you connect the dots and just extend the dots.
Hold on. What you said was, hold on. Thank y'all for the super chat. I mean, not the super chat. The gems. Now, I just saw it said, I put Dallas refers to Ziklax, a secretive, invitation only 501c3 charitable organization for wealthy conservative Christian families that aims to reshape Americans' society based on biblical principles. The headquarters are located in South Lake, which is part of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Now, y'all remember South Lake, right? Y'all remember the pastor in South Lake that was arrested for child triple X crimes, and he was also the what do they call it? Spiritual advisor for who? Who was he the spiritual advisor for, y'all? If y'all remember. Anybody remember? He was Donald Trump's spiritual advisor. Yep, for Trump. Well, if you're not familiar, what is the point of this? If you don't know what the point is, then you may need to. This may not be the live for you. I mean, because for you to say what is the point, then that means you have no idea what's going on, and yeah, you are new here, and it's way too much. You too far behind if you don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. I don't mean no harm, Mimi, you. Yeah, I'm lost. I know you are lost if you don't know what's going on. Yeah. Yeah, then that means you probably finna come. What happened to Trump's spiritual advisor? I don't get that part. So he mentioned that she has some issues with I thought he was finna say something else, and he brought up another.
People that are all around Charlie Kirk were TPUSA people.
Mimi, what do you mean, hurry up? I need gravy substance. You need to send a cash app super sticker. Put your question on a super chat, a super sticker. You hurry up. Now you hurry up and put it on a super chat, a super sticker. Mimi dumbass, are you out of here? I don't know who you think you are, troll. But I'm gonna troll your ass right on up out of here. You put your question on a super chat, a super sticker. Pay me. You rush me, pay me. Or get your ass up out of here. Quickly. Come on. Hurry up. Hurry up. Fuck is wrong with you? Pay me.
The people that were...
The hell you think you are? You feel that entitled? Itch? Pay me. Y'all say bye to dumbass Mimi, you, yo, dumbass. Fuck you think you are? Ho said, hurry up. With a name like me, you. I don't know why they try me either, hot chocolate. Me, you in trouble? me, you in trouble? Absolutely. Yeah. Hurry up. And you better go. So as far as with the spiritual advisor, when they mentioned this billionaires, millionaires, or whatever they said out of the DFW in Houston,
the Zodiac killer. It's the BTK killer. It's used.
It brought it to the Dallas Fort Worth area.
Happened in the United States.
Hold
we had
on.
a person all around.
And then so when we looked up the Zig, what was it? Ziglag.
The analysis here.
It brings us to the. It says it's a secret society. It's secretive. I mean, so it's invitation only. Everything about them is she's a TV evangelist now, but the one who used to be his advisor that got arrested when he went to court to plead guilty, to take a plea deal for crimes against a child, and he was Trump's spiritual advisor, and it was a gateway in South Lake. So when he mentioned Ziglag, rich billionaires, it leads us back with this secret society. It leads us back to the Dallas-Fort Worth area in South Lake. Which means that this is probably playing with kids. And or drugs. It's the same pattern. They all over the place. Big churches. What did, if y'all remember, what did Bibi Netanyahu say? He was going to convert Christians into Zionists by way of mega churches. The Ziglag Dallas, secretive, invitation only, 501c3 charitable organization for wealthy, conservative Christian families that aim to reshape seek to take dominion over the 7 major spheres. So this is that satanic stuff. And it's doing exactly what the Bibi Netanyahu said, and he's also asking to be what? Pardoned. Who put that out there? Trump.
That and we have done a lot of probability analysis. Thank you very much. We've done a lot of probability analysis in the past.
But they say they Christians though. Now it's Paula. It was that
we've applied in the past for our Bayesian. It's what we call Bayesian search, and I've written a lot of articles about Bayesian search. All the articles that we've written say that it's basically Shakespeare. All past is prologue. All the past patterns is the most likely thing if you connect the dots and just extend the dots, or the next assassination. So we're applying Bayesian analysis, hello from Scotland. It reminds me of Rob Roy up there in Scotland. And perhaps a sheep wouldn't bleat so bitter. I remember that line from Rob Roy. So anyway, with Liam Neeson up there. My point is the past is prologue, and in Bayesian analysis, you remember
Robert Morris,
Mike Lynch, who was the head of autonomy, was murdered. His boat, out of all the boats in the harbor in Italy, there he goes down and he drowns. All the other boats are okay.
Robert Morris was his name.
Mike Lynch dying with autonomy, with this predictive Bayesian software.
So what are you talking about?
Predict his death and losing the rights to Even if you just went on that one data point, it would still be people didn't do it since World War II with the Helliwell plan with the CIA. I'm not saying that that same cartel in southern France, near Marseille and Toulon,
what is that? Here goes Seniola again.
Rothschild drugs since Vietnam. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they
Rothschilds. Let's
in
listen.
terms of the organization pulling in donations. Who is she affecting when she says to that Turning Point USA is a money laundering organization? Who is she affecting, right? Is she affecting the French Foreign Legion? Is she affecting the Second French Foreign Legion? I don't think so. I'm not saying the Second French Foreign Legion hasn't run Rothschild drugs since Vietnam. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they didn't do it since
Rothschild drugs. Are we listening with our good ear? Trump just, oh my God, just pardon drugs. I thought that's why he was bombing Venezuela. So you bombing and killing people on a boat that you don't know have drugs or not, but you're pardoning top shelf narco. Are y'all paying attention? Oh man.
It's World War II with the Helliwell plan with the CIA. I'm not saying that that same cartel in southern France, near Marseille and Toulon, I'm not saying that they haven't been a part of Rothschild drug running. I'm not saying that they have not done drug running. I'm not in Libya, Syria, Sudan, Yemen, Ukraine, the overthrows in Ukraine. I'm not saying that isn't the money behind it. I'm not saying that's not the Rothschild money behind all these things. With the Second French Foreign Legion, I am saying that. We went out and visited where they, the French underground, had their drops from the U.S. In World War II for their covert drops, the Plateau de Glacier. We went and looked in depth at a French Foreign Legion in the Chevaline murders. But it was around atomic weapons and atomic weapons secrets going to Iraq through England, through the atomic weapons establishment, and being handed off under diplomatic immunity in CERN, Switzerland, near the super collider, right? It wasn't over someone saying that somebody had a Habsburgian jaw. It wasn't over some insult across the pond, right? So we've looked into that. I made that point yesterday, that all of our French investigators have looked into this. But we also looked into the Ukrainian piece of this and the Ukrainian support of the Rothschild support for keeping the Ukraine wars going. And to me, it makes the most sense to not just look at the American murder. If you want to figure out the Candace Owens murder, you have to look at all the murders, politically motivated murders in Europe that this Macron, Rothschild cabal has done. And if you look at all the murders, right, there's been 9 of these murders in Germany.
Why is he saying a murder like she has been murdered?
Macron has been near the super collider, right? It wasn't over someone saying that somebody had a Habsburgian jaw. It wasn't over some insult across the pond, right? So we've looked into that. I made that point yesterday, that all of our French investigators have looked into this. But we also looked into the Ukrainian piece of this and the Ukrainian support of the Rothschild support for keeping the Ukraine wars going. And to me, it makes the most sense to not just look at the American murder. If you want to figure out the Candace Owens murder, you have to look at all the murders, politically motivated.
There's not a Candace Owens murder, sir.
In Europe, that is Macron, Rothschild cabal has
I don't
done.
like that.
If you look at all the murders, right, there's been 9 of these murders in Germany, right? Macron has been good about being able to put people in jail and extradite them and take care of France, take care of the backlash for sending boots on the ground to Ukraine in France, but not so in Germany, where they've done a lot of recruiting for the French Foreign Legion to go to Ukraine. And we've charted 9 murders there, not 1, 9. If you look at those 9 murders, all 9 of those murders were done by Ukrainian Azov. So if you add more dots to the equation, if you add more dots to your graph here to try to predict where the threat is going to come from Candace Owens, and you add the 9 Ukrainian murders in Germany, along with the first murder in the United States with Charlie, you get a much better, clearer path of where the next murder is going to come from. And again, if you're getting your intelligence from somebody like Melissa Straight for Prager University, they just did a huge get-together and gala event with Rob McCoy in Sherman Oaks. Was there, right? You're there for the whole week. If that's where you're getting your intelligence, it's sort of like asking Mike Flynn, where are you going to attack? Oh, we're going to attack left. Well, we know Mike Flynn always feints left first, and then he attacks right. So we're going to just not fall for the feint, and we're going to go for the real attack. And that's what I'm recommending here. That's what I'm saying is what I believe is going to happen here. So I wrote the Substack. Again, I'm not discounting the French attack, but I want to say that this Macron group, working with Zelensky and working with Azov assassins, doesn't assassinate people around insults to his wife. They assassinate people politically that are opposed to the Ukraine war, and that's an important thing to realize. If Candace believes that her story about the First Lady and her Habsburg jaw and so forth is simulating this, it's not realistic. The real reason is to knock down people who would keep the Ukraine war from being a 20-year Rothschild bankers war at the end of the day. You have to look at the motive. You have to look at the means. You have to look at the opportunity to evaluate the threat. So I wanted to go through the Substack briefly. This is a hit contract, and the best way to open the target up is to give them a false lead. The best way to open the target up to your attack is to create a feint with the French Foreign Legion hit contract. I'm not saying that it isn't valid. I'm not saying that it isn't real, but giving out the name of the murderer, the Israeli man and the French woman and so forth before you try to murder someone is not usually the best way to go about conducting a clandestine covert affair. So again, we totally evaluate the possibility of a French Foreign Legion second regiment. We followed one in the Chevaline murders where they killed 8 people. I'm not saying they're not murders. I can't remember how many bullets the guy fired. 41 bullets on a side road just south of Nancy, which is where CERN has another development lab. Flew there under diplomatic immunity. There was a British agent that followed him. So that's usually odd. There would be a pair of agents from 2 different intelligence services. But again, those murders at the Chevaline murders weren't because someone said something nasty about the First Lady in social media. They were about atomic weapons establishment secrets, leaving the British atomic weapons establishment in Newburgh, England, and then being transferred to Iraq, right? Also potentially bioagent secrets going from Porton Down facility to Iraq. And that's why the Chevaline murders occurred. That's why the French Foreign Legion was contracted. Again, a Rothschild assassination dark hand. The Rothschild assassination dark hand has been around since World War I, starting World War I with the dark hand with the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand. I'm not saying that the Rothschilds don't have a dark hand. I'm not saying that. And it may be very valid for traveling in Europe, but I think we have identified in the past the signature in the United States that she has to be the most worried about. And the signature is Armed Diplomatic Security Services. the State Department, if the State Department gives you a visa and makes you a part of an armed diplomatic security services team, like the team that killed Charlie Kirk, right? That's what I'm saying is we have to look at the team that killed Charlie Kirk as the closest, most recent event.
A team. There was a whole team.
You're looking at a diplomat flying and then diplomatic security services flying, may be very valid for traveling in Europe. But I think we have identified in the past the signature in the United States that she has to be the most worried about. And the signature is Armed Diplomatic Security Services. The State Department, if the State Department gives you a visa and makes you a part of an Armed Diplomatic Security Services team, like the team that killed Charlie Kirk, right? That's what I'm saying is we have to look at the team that killed Charlie Kirk as the closest, most recent event. You're looking at a diplomat flying and then diplomatic security services flying and then the State Department giving them those visas. And that, I believe, is the signature, again, that Candace Owens has to worry the most about. And we've talked about armed diplomatic security services a long time. They don't have to be Americans in any way, shape, or form, but they have total diplomatic immunity as well. So that means that their bags coming in, their planes coming in, just like the ones that killed Charlie Kirk, cannot be searched. Cannot be searched.
But see,
this is far greater threat. We estimate with the Bayesian
see,
analysis.
I felt like once she started doing that research, and whoever sent her over that information about them planes and was able to get her details, that's when it pushed it kind of past, although she could link them to, I don't know, was it Delaware? I can't remember exactly where it was, where those hangars were, and those Egyptian planes rest or laid over. I think once she started the research on the planes, it took it to another level. And that's when, bam, it was already paid for, and it just kind of went out on that hit. It was the planes. And there was 7 Israelis who pinged their phones. That was, or was it 7 or 11 that was there on the campus that day? She had gotten deep.
That we've done, it's in the thousands. It's in several orders of magnitude greater probability than being killed by the French Foreign Legion. So we've got it into the thousands. I know it's just Bayesian probability. I know it's relies on a lot of factors and a lot of assumptions, but I'm just saying it's almost 3 to 4 orders of magnitude greater probability that the threat and the murder would come from here than it would come from the French Foreign Legion. Now, I'm not saying that
it would
French
come from
Foreign
here.
Legion,
Wait, what?
the thousands. I know it's just Bayesian probability. I know it's relies on a lot of factors and a lot of assumptions, but I'm just saying it's almost 3 to 4 orders of magnitude greater probability that the threat and the murder would come from here than it would come from the French Foreign Legion. Now, I'm not saying that the French Foreign Legion, if Candace came out stronger against the Ukraine war and wasn't talking about Brigitte's appearance, that I'm not saying that there wouldn't be a strong probability as well then that this French unit would attack. But again, we already know that Dobrynin and the Ukrainians were here on January 6th. They could have been here the previous summer, in the summer of love in 2020. The Azov and Kolomoisky's gang was in Hong Kong right before the breakout of coronavirus. They were there in 2014 for the overthrow of Ukraine. They were there again for the various other overthrows and fixing of elections for Zelensky. So again and again, we see the same criminals and you have to sort of trace the criminals that are real with real evidence rather than the figments of the imagination that maybe your enemies are casting for you, right? Again, not taking anything away. We followed the Rothschild assassination units for 9 years. So not saying those haven't existed since World War II and were developed out of World War II. So if you're not familiar with what Candace has said, is that there's this very detailed plot of an Israeli male and a French female, and the money going from one place to another. Again, I can transfer $1.5 million, and then I can tell someone it's to kill you. And so the receipts look very real, but then when all is said and done, it could just embarrass the person because it says, "Oh, we were just trying to buy wheat from Canada, and we wanted to buy wheat for bread. We needed to make bread mold. We were ordering wheat, and now Candace looks ridiculous, right?" So again, I understand with all the receipts how when you're in fear for your life that these things seem incredibly real, and it's very difficult to step back. It's very difficult to look back and look at the metadata, do the means, motive, and opportunity analysis. It's very difficult to have that kind of calculating mind. You want to...
Yeah, I need for y'all to get the likes up for me. Double tap. I don't know if I need to continue. I need to come back here and listen. I need to move forward. Double tap, y'all. Double tap the face of your screen if you're listening with your phone. Or if you're on your computer, I'm going to need for you to... What is that over here? If you're on your computer, I need for you to hit the 3 dots on the top right and get the likes up for me. I'm going to come back to that. Gives chilling answers that would shock the world. I don't know what that is. Defending Candace, exposing Rob McCoy. Did we listen to... Okay, let's go here.
Proximity-wise, West Virginia is probably a good option. They maintain a high state of readiness. They're
1 out of 3 Israelis are considering moving out of the country. Even though the majority of them believe mass emigration would be dangerous for the future of the state, is this sort of hidden hamlet along the Long Island Sound, along the North Shore. Months, I can't really say how fast it's country. Even though the majority of them believe mass emigration would be dangerous for the future of the state. Yes, it would be dangerous for a state that shouldn't believe that so much of it is really constituted and wrapped up in the whole concept of the for-profit industrial complex that is religion.
I'm sure most other people caught as well, but also in the days leading up to the incident on November 26th. And let's not
see a story like...
Actually, a story that I think would not surprise the average American.
Much better than I can. And especially, and I'm not saying that we're heading for revolution because I want people to get hurt. I'm saying that at some point, you're going to have to rip off the Band-Aid. You have no choice.
Also from West Virginia, as far as we know right now, still in critical condition, fighting for his life. So those are the two national...
You have the current president of the United States, the Donald, and to his immediate right, you have...
And they were shot. Where was the president? Palm Beach, playing golf. I mean, does anything else show disconnect?
That the average person is keenly aware of what's going on. Which is why at Union Square there are displays like this that happened the other day that doesn't get covered by. We all know what the fuck that means. Great. How many more wars would we like to be in before it's all said and done? But again, this is the problem. Cares about anything other than his bottom line? No. So he'll say whatever. It is the.
Okay.
They separate the tainted from the holy.
I've been dealing with internet issues.
All right, sorry.
And I don't know what to say.
No, but I mean, are you mad at me for doing that?
Doing what?
Coming on the show, like coming in.
What did you do?
I just came in and was talking. Are you frozen again? He's frozen again. So, like, forced servitude, I guess. So, you know, and now let's bring it back to the fact that we've got several private equity firms buying up all the single family housing so that most people, he's not understanding. I think the problem, clip, okay?
That's not what it is.
Well, every time you go to do it, you get frozen.
If you're going to not separate church from state, if you're going to combine religion with politics, you're tax exempt. If you're going to not separate
I'm trying to get it
from
to
state,
where
if
he's
you're going to
talking
combine
about.
religion with politics, your tax exempt status should no longer exist. Exhibit A, why that is the case.
He's the most misunderstood missionary in American history.
Is that
He
Rob
actually
McCart?
led these kids to the Lord after he discipled them. He showed what the Bible had to say on every issue that churches don't even want to talk about. Churches have embraced Gnosticism, where they separate the tainted from the holy, as though politics is beneath them, even though it's the highest form of society, because it kind of
Is this that Rob McCoy guy?
If God didn't want us in politics, he wouldn't have invented marriage.
I don't get that.
Specifically pertaining to the separation of church and state, you are not supposed to involve your congregation with your political beliefs. You can talk about topics, but you're actually trying to convince people to vote a certain way, to think a certain way. How is that legal? How can you maintain non-profit status when you are clearly intending son of a bitch? And he's got a lot more to say.
And love your neighbors yourself. Don't you want your neighbor growing up knowing there's two sexes and
ability?
I'm trying to get to Candace. I don't want to hear
blood,
this.
which is shed for you. When he took the bread, it's called the bread of affliction.
Problem. I would imagine that just about everybody in the chat and the overall consensus in the political arena would agree. And yet here you are trying to grift off of Charlie Kirk's dead name.
Okay.
Palestinians enter into Israel. You're more strictly judged by the world. You're reviled and hated. Even within your own camp, there are those who seek your destruction. Israel was the most vaccinated country in the world. Probably the most educated. Many globalists, communists. I think 9% of the Knesset is Muslim. You won't find that in the Palestinian territory. If a Jew enters there, they're going to die.
So not only is he preaching propaganda, he's preaching false propaganda.
This is what
if you're a Jew
BB
and you go to Gaza, you're going to die. No, if you're a Palestinian, you go to Gaza, you are dead. Because the Israelis have perpetuated the biggest Holocaust. We went from mass murder to genocide to Holocaust, which is what it is.
Okay, team. Time for
Oh
everyone's
wow.
favorite.
They took that, they killed that man and took over. Oh wow.
And it's the worst,
Oh wow.
perhaps since World War II. But if not, then certainly the worst since Mao Zedong and Communist China. And that's over two
Hey
generations
gang.
ago.
Gang Spears
And what do those all in the past have in common that you do not have today? They were not filmed in full view of the world to see. But Israel's is, and it's still going on.
Mm-hmm.
And probably worse now than ever because we've been trying to draw attention away from it. Now all the hostages are released. What the hell do you think is going on now? Now it's a full-on massacre.
Mm-hmm.
Get them all. Because that's our territory, right? You listen to the Zioscum, Jewish or Christian, and they all sound the same. It's our land. Conquer, destroy. Well,
kill,
in the case of
still kill and destroy.
It's not just conquer, destroy, but it's lie through your teeth all the way to the bank.
After y'all have assassinated Charlie Kirk.
The Palestinians enter into Israel. This Pesach is critical. Jesus said, as often as you do this, Luke 22:19.
I can't. I want to hear about Charlie Kirk. And I don't. Come on, hurry up.
And the exegetical, you're doing eisegesis. You're putting in things that aren't there. Jeremiah 31:30.
So this is the man who took over Turning Point. He preached Charlie Kirk's eulogy. Okay, yeah, let me get out of here.
Interesting. It is incredible. You know what it reminds me of, guys?
He preached hate. I got this someplace else. I'm trying to get to all of what I had today. But he preached hate on Candace during church. He threw out a brother. Lord, I was shocked to see a brother doing this fake propaganda bull crap. Man, this is so deep. Hold on, let me get to it. I have it.
Why? Because they're willing to do the dance. And this pastor, incredible. You know what it reminds me of, guys? When I was in high school, in fact, my graduating class in high school, several people that I went to, and this was sophomore going into junior year of high school. Everybody was his friend. This pastor probably never met Charlie Kirk, maybe shook his hand once or twice. But he's the one out here talking on Charlie's behalf, or what? Charlie Kirk maybe shook his hand once or twice. But he's the one out here talking on Charlie's behalf, or what he believed and what he knew.
Okay, good night.
I don't think so.
If you come back, it's 2 hours and 27.
But as a good friend,
2 hours and
from the
28
tough
minutes.
areas of Congressional District 25, always said, black faces in high places. Why? Because they're willing to do the dance. And this pastor is willing to do the dance. And then some.
Fighting against Erica Kirk, his wife, I mean, you have to be cruel and demonic.
Now you lying.
To insinuate the things that she has insinuated over the past several weeks. She's evil. That's what it is. And a big hand clap goes there. Don't get shy on me tonight.
Well, so you gotta force them.
Too far to play around.
You had to force them to clap.
That's the brother's version of please clap.
Oh wow.
It's evil. It's corrupt. It should not take place. She sounds like a jaded person who wished they were in the role that Charlie.
So this is her position, her high-paying position and donations, millions in donations to speak against Black Lives Matter. This is the replacement to speak a black on black to speak against her. Wow. He's a Christian Zionist pastor, is what it says.
Kirk's wife is in, but she isn't. And so therefore she seeks to tear down his legacy. And at some point, her husband is going to have to walk into that podcast
And she has not said nothing ill against Charlie.
Okay, so we just got a big dose of chauvinism. We got a big dose of bearing false witness again. Because again, this person is claiming that Charlie Kirk was something that he wasn't. And Candace Owens is fighting for justice for her friend more than his own wife is fighting for his justice. It couldn't be more obvious. Candace Owens genuinely and deeply cared about Charlie Kirk on a personal level. This is a separation entirely from the business side. This is a personal relationship. And there is no one on the face of this earth that could ever convince otherwise that Erica Kirk cares more about the father of her two children than the person that Charlie was able to rise up the ranks in the political arena with over the past decade plus. No one can convince me otherwise, and I highly doubt that anyone else would disagree. If you're being objective, of course.
I mean, by now I would have already done it if it was my wife. I'm yanking cords, I'm shutting down the camera, shut down the ATEM. Sweetie, get up, get out of this room, and can you please help out with the kids? Because this is a dastardly deed that is being done. I thought that the greatest foe that we would have to contend with after the assassination of Charlie Kirk would be the left. But sadly, it's friendly fire from the right. I'm moving on.
Yeah, you're moving on all right. Here's to your 15 minutes. I hope they were worth it. And I hope it works out for you, buddy. But, hey, another grifting pastor with a lot of money to make and a lot of information that he's throwing out there to make him look like a fool. Now, he is a preacher, author, and activist whose passion for the next generation pours out in audiences nationwide. So here we go again. Here is a person who is strictly doing this for the money. And Turning Point USA is all the more ready, willing, and able to bring in as many grifters that they can. Remember, Charlie Kirk was the most exceptional grifter in right politics that I ever saw. And I mean that in the most respectful way possible. He grifted very well. And now, when he decided that maybe he was going to question the grift, he got taken care of, and there are plenty of others that clearly want a piece of that action. When you have a mailing list, a Rolodex, as big as Turning Point USA's, in the millions upon millions, all of these people are going to be popping up left and right. But as a follow-up to that, somebody who I'm not too familiar with, this young lady says that she went to a faith-based event, and the person's name is Patrice. Now, she went to this event specifically to learn about the faith-based component of Turning Point USA, like from a Pastor John Amachu. Here's what she had to say about it.
So I went to a TPUSA faith event tonight, and I want to talk about it. Thinking that I was going to enjoy myself and learn things because TPUSA is obviously a conservative faith-based foundation, or so I thought. I thought I was going to be informed about politics stemming strictly from biblical principles, and that's not my experience. So right off the bat, the speaker comes up, and before he even gets into preaching or talking about politics, he begins by calling out Candace Owens and saying that she is evil and anti-Semitic and what she's doing is evil. I immediately wanted to leave. I didn't want to be there any longer listening to this nonsense because right off the bat I know that that's just not true. And the only reason I didn't leave is because on the way in I basically got security checked 5 times because there was armed men standing everywhere in front of me. They were very suspicious of me. I don't know. There was also an armed man on stage, like hand on his gun, like the security was everywhere. And I was like, I just don't want to deal with it. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but it just didn't feel right. So I'm in this church and I'm listening to this TPUSA like speaker go on and on about Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and how they're evil and anti-Semitic. And he basically indirectly is saying we should support Israel because Jesus was a Jew and we wouldn't have Christianity without Judaism, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, I disagree with that. What they're doing in Israel is evil and they're so corrupt, it's insane. And telling Christians that they should be supporting this evil doing because these people are Jewish, and if you don't, you're anti-Semitic, like, it's wrong. And also, I don't think Charlie Kirk would stand for that. We know, as, like, the weeks before his passing, he was starting to call out Israel and question Israel. And Candace was his best friend. Like, what? Preaching, but the way he was preaching wasn't really preaching. He was just literally calling like the left names. He called the left idiots. He called them freaks. He called them it didn't feel right. And my thought process is, would Jesus be doing this? Is this biblical teaching? Like, you're calling people that we disagree with as Christians all these names in loser, idiot, freak. Really? Because last time I checked, Jesus ate with sinners. He ate with prostitutes. So you're spreading hate, literally, and that's not what God stands for.
And whether you're religious or not, that is not what God stands for, if you believe it. And the idea that you would disparage your brother or your neighbor, I don't know, that pretty much goes against the basic tenet of Christianity. And yet, it has become a full-blown political organization. And they are saying all of this nonstop hatred about others that don't agree with them. Remember, do unto others as you would have done to you. So, is it any surprise that the grifting is becoming more and more overt? Because young individuals like this lady, who may have liked Charlie Kirk, are no longer buying into what they're selling. Once the cat's out of the bag, you can't put it back in, no matter how hard you try. And frankly, the harder you try, the faster you lose it all. There are ways to slow down the process, but this is too clear. When you start losing people like her, you're in big fucking trouble.
He's preaching to people whilst spreading hate. And these people are absorbing this information. These teenagers, these young people are absorbing this information, thinking that this is okay. This is a leader. This is someone put on our stage teaching us this. This is the future generation of Christians. Do we really want to be more divided? Like, oh, we're just going to hate on the left because we disagree with them. We're not going to share the Bible with them. We're not going to, like, help them because we think that they're lost. We're just going to call them losers and freaks and make fun of them and laugh it off. It was quite disgusting. And I'm not pleased at all. So basically, I didn't learn a thing. He spent the entire time talking about liberals and how they're stupid and blah, 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 and like how men shouldn't be in women's locker rooms and women's sports. And I'm thinking, we have more important things to talk about as Christians in this nation than things that we see plastered all over online. Like, yeah, we all know. We know that men shouldn't be in women's sports. We know that they shouldn't be in women's bathrooms. That's not the most important topic, okay?
So he takes rice, husks of rice. You know, I didn't even know rice had a husk, but rice have husks on them. And basically, when they get rid of the husk, it's waste, and it's a problem like any other type of waste. He's figured out how to turn rice husks into wood. So you wouldn't know the difference between real wood floor or wood paneling in the house or roof or whatever from the wood that's made from this husk. Like, he could do that. So what's starting to happen is
Smart young lady.
Sure
Seems like
is.
she's got her shit together, and she believes in God. Respect. As I've been saying, I agree with her statement. regarding the specifics regarding trans athletes, the bathrooms, etc. But it's all one big distraction from much bigger problems. That's why we talk incessantly about it, and it's plastered all over the media. If we go to war with Venezuela, that will be focused on incessantly, rather than the fact that the average person can't afford shit. And so let's say that we invade Venezuela and we take over the oil reserves after killing tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans. Do you really think the average American is going to truly see a benefit from the trillions upon trillions in the crude oil reserves? No. This is going to be to the benefit of the rich and powerful, as they have always had control over every resource, power structure, forever, but now more than ever. And so I ask you all, what do we see as a righteous future? We don't need to find it in church. What we do need is to recognize we are in a revolutionary period and have to act accordingly. At what point do we band together as a nation and stop beating around the bush about the fact that we are becoming a failed state? If we were doing so well, why would we need to invade Venezuela unprovoked, my God, and go in there and systematically take over their resources that they own? And for what risk? Who believes that this is acceptable discourse? It isn't. That's why I get extremely hyped when I see the grifters grifting off of the desperate and the scared and the lonely, particularly in Christian Zionism. Jewish Zionism is almost exclusively financially based political maneuvering. Christian Zionism does have a deeply religious component as a part of its overall ideology. And they use them to hurt people. Pastors like John Amanchku, pastors like Rob McCoy, they are going to support war in Venezuela. Not that they may necessarily come right out and say that they support it, but they'll justify it. They'll figure out a way to talk positively about it and say that we need this. Venezuela is bringing fentanyl and drugs into the... It's all bullshit, obviously, but it doesn't matter. If you're a Judas, if you're taking the shekels, then you will take them and you will bark like a dog on your hands and knees for a few more, if that's what allows you to continue your grift, or dare I say, grow it. There are a lot of bad, evil doers amongst us. And that includes the lack of the separation of church and state. And it upsets me to no end. I hope when Jen and I go live on Monday that we are not in a war with Venezuela. I hope that cooler heads will prevail. But I won't hold my breath.
Well, one thing's for sure. We know from that assailant guy, the killer, we supposed to be in war within 90 days.
John Amanchku, I think that's how you say it. I don't know how they drag these people out of Bumblefuck USA. I doubt that John is coming from a place of wealth and power like Rob McCoy's But
Oh, so his name
nevertheless,
is John. Somebody, John.
John Manchukuwu, I think that's how you say it. I don't know how they drag these people out of Bumblefuck USA. I don't know how they drag these people out of I don't know how they drag these people out of Bumblefuck USA.
Hold on. Put all questions on the super chat, super sticker. Support the platform. Put all questions on super chats, super stickers, and support the platform. Sergeant Woodchipper, who you talking to? Sergeant Woodchipper, who you talking to? Yeah, you've asked for you to be a guest. Yeah, Sergeant Woodchipper, who you talking to? Okay, there you go. You don't have to worry about it. Y'all get the likes up. How about I'm gonna go ahead and end it. Y'all asking me too many questions. You're not hitting the like button. Yeah, I have guests here that I've never seen before. Have asked several questions. Yeah. No, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. I'll be back. Maybe. What time is it? 12:30. Yeah. I don't like where my likes is at. And this is some good stuff. And I need to do some research. Yeah. Or maybe I need to go members only. How long is that one?
The great falling away is happening right now. There is prophecy coming to life right before our eyes. The Lord Jesus Christ told us exactly what would happen in the end times, and we are in those times today. Now, I'm not making a prophecy that Jesus is coming at any moment. In fact, you would be startled to find the Bible doesn't say that at all. I want to talk about some of the ways that the devil will deceive the entire world in the end times. We in our church recently had what we called a red letter revival. where we go through and just read the red letters of what Jesus said. I challenged the people in the church to do it, and many did. Many were surprised to see that in the book of Revelation, Jesus gave us very clear warnings of the end times, what we can
Y'all better
expect,
get the lights up. Double
that
tap
we
the
need to
face
wake
of the
up.
screen.
The
I'm going
church
to shut it
today
down.
is asleep. Christianity has been hijacked by the Pharisees, by so many false religions. And I want to challenge what you may believe, but I want to do it in the right way. The Bible says that we should speak the truth in love. Many churches have completely
double tap the face of your screen. Get the likes up. If you're using your phone device, double tap. If you're on your computer, hit the three dots. Get out. I need that 245 to drop down. Because you're here ear hustling and you're not hitting the like button. So I need for y'all to leave. This tea is not for you. The 245 people that's in here, if you have not hit the like button, double tap the face of your phone, or hit the three dots or the thumbs up, then get out.